What's going on, everybody? All right, so I'm coming to you live from my studio, which I don't need to talk about that too much, but today we're going to be talking about driver safety. Big concern for it lately. There's been quite a few bigger news articles coming out recently all over the country about driver safety and issues with it. So carjackings, somebody got shot and killed, unfortunately, and then somebody protecting themselves when getting shot at. So we're going to go over 3 different news stories that are happening throughout the country, kind of the takeaways on each of them for being better protecting against yourself, and then just go over some tips to be safe when out on the road. Whether you're a driver or a passenger in this case, because a couple of news stories did include passengers as well. So the first one we're going to talk about is the news story. If you haven't watched the video on Dustin's channel, go check that out. It was actually the security footage, and it happened in Philadelphia just the other day, where they carjacked a Lyft driver or Uber. I don't even know which rideshare company he was for, but it was in Philadelphia. He was sitting there waiting for a ride or another ping to come in, just sitting there waiting. 2 guys come up to him, rob him at gunpoint, jack his car. So if you haven't watched that video, go check it out, especially anybody in the Philadelphia area who could maybe possibly try to identify those people and then bring them to justice. So that's the first one. So like I said, if you haven't gone and checked that out yet, go check that out. But the takeaway on that is, I also got my notes, so the takeaway from that is when you're parking and you're waiting for either a ride or even a person, make sure you're in a well-lit area. This guy was, but it still happened. One of the things though too you noticed in the video is the doors weren't locked. Now that may not have caused that may not have caused anything. The one guy had a gun, so it could have been very easy to do something to get him out of the car. But that brings me to my next point is you want to make sure you leave enough room in front of you just in case you have to stomp on it and get out of there. And always be aware of your surroundings, especially in that case. If you see some people walking around that just kind of look a little shady or you're not sure, just keep an eye on them. And like I said, always have enough room in front of you just in case you have to stomp on it and take off, so you can be all right. Then the second article that happened, this is in Phoenix. So this was the 71-year-old Lyft driver who was driving at night and was shot and killed in Phoenix. This was just a few days ago. And the sad part was it was on his 52nd anniversary. So there wasn't too many details about that. They're just trying to look for the people and kind of what happened. They don't have much more information than that. But again, that's something that you want to just be aware of. Now, I did have a comment on my video from yesterday where they talked about that article. It sounded like he was in this area or knew of the area where that person was shot. He said it was an unsafe area, and you want to just make sure that if you are in that area, you get out of there. That was what the comment was. So the takeaway on that is, especially if you are in an area that you feel unsafe or you don't know what the area is, whether it might be a good area or not, always go to somewhere public or go to an area where you know it's going to be safe. So most of the time you always hear drivers say, wait, pull down the street, wait for the next ride to come in. But sometimes you want to make sure, especially if you're in a bad area, or you don't know what area you're in, whether it's good or bad, if you've gone on a long trip or somewhere that you're not familiar with, head over there, check that out to a different area, and be aware of your surroundings. Sorry, I was thinking 2 things at once when I said that. But yeah, if you're always in an unfamiliar area or just that, go somewhere public, go somewhere well lit, or get out of the area altogether. you can definitely do that. So, you know, might be a little bit waste of a gas, but at least you'll be safe, or feel safer. And then the third story happened in Tennessee, also just, I think this was Wednesday night, so about 2 days ago. And this was where a Tennessee Uber driver shot a man who fired upon him and his passenger. So this was a crazy story what had happened. The passenger was out at a liquor store grabbing some liquor. We've probably all taken that type of ride before, whether it's in the day or night. You know, people want their alcohol, nothing wrong with that. But here's the crazy part. The guy who was the passenger held the door open for the guy who ended up shooting at them down the road later in the story. And what's up, Mitchell? Or Michelle, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can do that. Make a video suggestion. What do you mean? If you want me to do a video, you can let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna just get back to this. I'll go back to the comments in a little bit. But yeah, you guys can comment whatever you want. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through some of the stories and then the driving tips, and then we can hang out after, answer questions and all that good stuff. And sorry, I didn't mean to say Mitchell for Michelle, but I do apologize. But yeah, so the crazy thing, like I said, was the passenger held the door open and said he got a weird look from this guy who he held the door open for. Then that person who was giving the weird look ended up driving and following the passenger and the driver to the passenger's house where he was getting dropped off. You know, he's at a liquor store going home. So then the person, the suspect, gets out and actually shoots at the passenger and the driver. Now in this instance, the driver did have a gun and shot back, struck this person who was shooting and put him into the hospital, where both the driver and the passenger were safe. They were okay. But still, that's freaking crazy what happened. So here's the takeaway on that. Apparently don't open doors for anybody anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, you know, do that. That's still nice. It's still a respectful thing. But man, this guy is like nuts. That guy who just thought he was disrespected. And that was the reason. He thought that he was disrespected because he was, sorry, I want to rephrase this the right way. So the shooter felt disrespected by the passenger who's opening the door and holding it open for him because he held open the door. So that's pretty crazy right there. Like, I don't know what's going on in your head at that point. But again, you know, simple little things can add up. And that's another thing. Like, you got to be aware of your surroundings too. So I don't know how far the liquor store was from the passenger's drop-off point. But if you're looking around your surroundings and you know what's going on around you, you might be able to tell if a car is following you. You know, I've had that happen to me before. I'm sure quite a few people may have already seen that video. Luckily, nothing did happen, but you know, I knew right away what was going on, and trying to, you know, go in my head and figure out what I would do in certain events, because you know, at that point it's all adrenaline. You don't really know. But yes, in this case, he did have the driver did have a gun. He was able to protect the passenger and himself. Unfortunately, I'm probably betting that he does not have a job driving for Uber anymore, or at least working with Uber as a driver anymore, because unfortunately, Uber and Lyft both say in their terms of service that there are no firearms that are allowed within the platform, whether you're a passenger or a driver. Now, that's the official stance from Uber and Lyft. I'm going to say do whatever you need to do to feel safe or be smart out there. And if you do decide to carry, make sure it's hidden. Make sure you know where it is and nobody else can get to it. But be safe out there, whatever you do. And always be aware of your surroundings, especially. So those are three of the crazy stories that happened just this week, within the past few days. Like I said, if you haven't seen the video on Dustin's channel yet, where he put up the security footage of that night, straight from Philadelphia police cameras, You need to go check that out and watch that because it's pretty crazy. And then if you ever want to see any of these stories, you can just do a simple Google search. But for anybody driving out there and even passengers, because like I said, that last story was where a passenger was just holding open the door, being nice, and thought this guy just is crazy and thought he was being disrespected, and down the road gets into a firefight. Again, absolutely crazy. But here's a few tips that you can do for yourself when you're driving or when you're with Uber and Lyft. First, if you're a driver and you are finishing a ride in an unsafe area, big thing to do, go somewhere where it's a little bit more public, where it's real well lit, and you can wait there. If you don't want to stay in that area, you can turn your app off and then go where you know it's safer. Always be safe. Again, if you're pulling up to a ride as well too, and you see people that are around there and you just don't feel safe, continue, keep going if you really want to do that. It's up to you. It's your safety. It's always your call. And then same thing, kind of talking about yesterday's video where it was talking about destination discrimination. When you start talking to a passenger, if they do feel weird to you in any way, shape, or form, or if they give you some irky feeling or eerie feeling, something in your gut just says, hey, this isn't feeling right. Not basing it on the location again, if it's based solely on that passenger or the people that they're with, you have the right to cancel that ride. It doesn't matter because again, safety is first. So yeah, like I said, if you're in an area that you're not sure of, go somewhere safe. Same thing, if you do know that area is unsafe, go somewhere safer, or at least to a well-lit area if you don't mind picking people up in an unsafe area. I really don't, although sometimes I do, just depending on the area. I really look at their passenger ratings, and it tells me a little bit more. If you got like a 4.95 or a little bit higher and it's in an unsafe area, I don't really have a problem doing that, only because I keep my doors locked, which is another tip. Keep your doors locked and just be safe out there. But yeah, always be aware of your surroundings as well too. So pay attention to the passengers you're picking up. Pay attention to the people walking around your car. Pay attention to the people driving around your car too, because people could be following you. And if you're not paying attention, you don't know what could happen after that. So always pay attention, especially to those things. You always got to be alert and aware, no matter what. Keep your doors locked, as always. Even when you're talking to a passenger to verify who they are, keep the doors locked. Roll down your window just enough to talk to them, especially if they're on the driver's side and trying to get in on that side in the rear. Just keep your window rolled down, maybe like that much, just so you get that personal interaction still, but it's not enough for them to do something. Also, when you unlock your doors, in any situation, if it's an unsafe area or whatever, even if it's not an unsafe area, if somebody's just kind of casing you and runs up and tries to jack you while passengers are getting in the car, which can happen as well too. One of the things you can do is keep your arm on the lock, and when you hit the unlock button, your door will stay locked, but the other 3 doors will unlock and passengers can get in. So if somebody's trying to open your door, it's not going to happen. And then if somebody's trying to open your door, hey, if you got to floor it and get out of there, I mean, that's going to be a split-second decision that you're going to have to make, depending on what's going on and obviously the surrounding area. But just make sure you pay attention to all your surroundings at all points, wherever you are. Even when you're driving too, you never know. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, and lastly, protect yourself any means necessary. So if you've seen videos that have been going around YouTube too, where passengers are attacking drivers, do whatever you have to do to stay safe. If you have somebody coming up to your car who's acting a little funky or acting a little weird, do whatever you have to do, protect yourself. But always make sure that you have the ability to get out of a situation in any way, shape, or form. So like I said, if you pull up somewhere and you're in a, under a street light, like I was talking about in that first article, if you go over to Dustin's channel and watch the security footage, you'll see he was under a street lamp in the corner section, or the street corner. But the only problem was too, either he wasn't paying attention, but he had his doors unlocked, but he also pulled up right near the back of that car. So if he had to get out of there quickly, he might have been able to do that if he had enough room in front of him. So you always just want to make sure you have an escape plan as well too. All right, so that's going to be my spiel on safety. Anybody watching, if you guys want to comment in the live stream about this, we'll talk about it now, or anything. We'll hang out, any questions or anything like that as well too. And anybody who's not watching the live stream, watching this the post recording of this video, comment below on any other safety tips you have for drivers out there, and even passengers as well too, in certain circumstances as well. All right, so all right, I'm gonna go back in some of the comments I seen pop up. Yeah, okay, so Michelle, yeah, you turn off the app. And yeah, you can do that. If you notice that you're getting dropped off or you're taking a ride into a unfamiliar area or an unsafe area, the easiest thing to do too, if you don't know this, is go in your thing and hit cancel new requests, because you could start getting pinged for rides on your way to the drop-off location for the next one. So if you don't want to get a ride in that area, just turn off new requests. And that's something that you'll be good right there with. And Brian, yeah, whatever video suggestion you want, let me know. No Boss Lifestyle, what's up? You have additional info on the driver last weekend. Okay, yeah, if you want to get, hold on, let me see. Lyft driver dropped off his passengers waiting for the next ping in the area. He was targeted by someone. Yeah, I figured that from what I was reading in the news article. He was targeted for some reason, just because he was a driver in that area. And like I said, that's the biggest thing. This person that was in Phoenix that was murdered, he probably didn't know that area very well. And if he did, he probably would have gotten out of there, because I think it happened around 12:30 in the morning from what I remember. Some of these articles I'm getting confused right now on timestamps, but I think it was around 12:30. Either way, it was in the middle of the night. So yeah, it's something that, again, you want to make sure you're aware of your surroundings. And if you're in an unsafe area or an unfamiliar area, go somewhere where you're a little bit, okay, 12:30. Great, thank you. Yeah, go somewhere, to a gas station, to a restaurant, to a grocery store, anything that's going to be open, that's more public, even a bar, because usually there is going to be a little bit lit up in the parking lot. And then, hey, who knows, you might have a ride right there. But yeah, I would definitely get out of areas you don't know. So the biggest thing is, I'm in Buffalo. I also drive in Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is not a safe area. It's probably a little worse than Buffalo. So there's certain areas you want to avoid, but if you don't know that and you're in Buffalo and you drive up to Niagara Falls to drop somebody off at the casino, you go a couple blocks over and you are in a very unsafe area. There's a lot of gang territory where wars going on there. So that's something you really want to pay attention to. And if you didn't know that, you can stay by the casino there, or the hotels or something. But on the flip side too, I've taken rides out to Rochester, which is the next city that's populated close to Buffalo, besides Niagara Falls. And certain parts of Rochester you might not know because it's not the market you're in. So when I'm out there, I do know where certain areas are. So I kind of go to those areas, especially like by the coffee shops and those districts there where it's more known to me. But the other areas, yeah, you kind of gotta know, because you just want to be safe out there for any reason. Let's see. Hold on, going back. Yeah, thanks, No Boss Lifestyle, for the little info there. And yeah, police don't know. It's so sad, because like I said, it was his 52nd wedding anniversary, and he just was talking to his wife prior to it happening. So very sad story to come out of Phoenix for who knows whatever reason why. that those people did whatever they did. But if anybody has any information or knowledge, especially in that area, please go forward and talk to somebody about it. But yeah, it's so sad. You can carry pepper spray, from what I know. I'm almost positive. I think the only thing is it states is firearms. I think you can even carry pocket knives, but don't quote me 100% on Uber and Lyft's exact specifications on that, on the TOS. I can't remember off the top of my head because it's been a while since I combed through the TOS. I know for a fact it says no firearms, but again, you know, you got to do what you got to do to feel safe because you never know what could happen. You don't know what types of things are around you that might be unfolding. So yeah, do whatever you need to do to be safe. Just stay in accordance with the law. But you know, it's still a sticky situation, but I believe pepper spray is absolutely 100% okay. Here's the problem though with pepper spray. When you spray it, yes, it's directed at the person, but it's still an aerosol. So that means it will go in the air around you. So either close your eyes while you're doing it and open the windows, or open the door, or do something to make sure it stays well ventilated, because otherwise you could get it in your own face and in your eyes. Just because, like I said, it's an aerosol, especially if it's in close quarters too, somebody in your car, maybe a passenger, you know, it might be spray back. There's a lot of different things with that. So just be careful with that. You know, always take care to protect yourself. If you do carry it, you know, watch a couple videos on how to handle it, just so you know, because like I said, you don't want that to happen to you for any particular reason, just trying to defend yourself. Let's see. He had no life insurance. So that's cool. And yeah, okay, I'll make the plug right there too. For anybody who wants to donate to this guy's GoFundMe, because he didn't have life insurance, the driver who was shot in Phoenix, do a simple Google search on the article. Just type in, you know, 71-year-old Lyft driver shot in Phoenix. And it'll pop up because it literally just happened the other day. There's a GoFundMe that is up and running. So anybody who wants to help donate to the family, you know, go there, donate. Anything would be appreciated, I'm sure. Also, one of the articles I was reading is Lyft is also going to help take care of certain things. What that means, I don't know, but that's a pretty cool thing from Lyft. To hear something like that. So hopefully they do follow through on something. But yeah, if you want to go donate to the GoFundMe, hopefully you will. Or I mean, not hopefully you will, but hopefully it'll get to a point where it'll be good for the family and him. Did the guy have a camera in his car? I'm not sure. Pepper spray foam. The foam is directed spray. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, you want to make sure what you're using. Be familiar with it, whatever you're using. Okay, good. This Rideshare Brothers family. Yeah, so anybody who wants to donate, like I said, if you, No Boss Lifestyle, if you by chance have the link, if you want to pin it or comment it in the live section, or after the live stream is over, if you want to copy or if you want to comment on it below, I'll make sure to pin the comments. So if anybody wants to head over and donate to the GoFundMe for this family, by all means, they can definitely do that. And please do that so I can help get the word out there. But yeah, it's a very sad thing. All right, guys, so any other questions or anything, especially when it comes to passenger safety or just anything in general, just let me know. There's a few people watching. Normally I do late live streams, but today I'm doing afternoon. Got a few things going on, so. But yeah, I'm gonna try and rework some of the live streams because I see a few people on here that normally aren't on the later streams. when I do like an after hours shift type thing and talking about something. So, but yeah, I'm gonna kind of work that in because I do like the live streams. It's a lot of fun. I get to interact with everybody who's watching, so that's always a fun thing. But yeah, does anybody have any other tips for safety that's watching currently? Comment in the live stream now. Also, anybody who, what's up, yeah, Joseph, there's a lot of crazy people in Vegas. Yes, there is. And for some reason, they think that just because it's Vegas, they can get away with a lot of things that they normally can't, and think that the hangover style life or lifestyle is appropriate, when in fact it's really not. Especially since you can't have alcohol in personal vehicles in Las Vegas. And I'm sure I wonder if that's probably like the worst or the most often thing that happens in Las Vegas. I've been there many times. I was actually just there 6 weeks ago or something. I love it there. It's so much fun. But yeah, some people just need to realize, or hold their liquor or something. But yeah, I would think that trying to bring alcohol into a car would be the biggest offense, only because most people can, carry their yardstick or their yard glass down the strip, even though I don't think that's really necessarily, necessarily allowed either. I don't know. It's like their alcohol laws are actually pretty strict, and I can't remember exactly what it is. Nice. Offer you a tip with weed. That's actually a pretty cool tip. Being in Vegas though, being legal, yeah, you can. It doesn't really matter at that point. Just watch out for the smell, unless it was an edible. But yeah, no. When I was in Vegas, I had to patron a shop just to see what it was like and walk in, just to see what was going on and all that. But yeah, it was a pretty cool experience for sure. I didn't tip my driver in weed though. I tipped him in cash. Well, no, not cash, on the app, because I didn't actually really have any cash on me for that. You make them dump it out. Okay, you could do that. I don't know what the laws in that are in terms of quantity, but I know you can carry it just because it is legal now in that area. But it's up to you if you want to transport it or not. You're the driver, you're the person in charge. So if you see that you're going to going from a dispensary or whatnot, you don't have to accept the ride. Yep. Yeah, liquor license, or I'm sorry, limo license to have liquor. Yeah, it's a special type of vehicle. Even in cabs, you can't have it. Any type of vehicle, unless it's a party bus or a limo. And I don't think can black cars have it? I'm talking about like limo black or like taxi black cars, not Uber black. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, anybody else with anything safety or just any questions in general, let me know. Other than that, probably going to be getting off very soon. Only defense jack handle. You could, yeah. I mean, you could do that. You could kind of carry whatever you really want. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Whatever you want to carry protection. If you want to have a pipe, you can do that too. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can, but yeah, just whatever you do, make sure you're safe out there. Always be aware of your surroundings, always pay attention. And the biggest thing is, yes, if you're in an unfamiliar area that you drive into and you don't know much about, or if you are in an unsafe area that you know for sure, just drive out of there. There's no reason not to. Just put on cancel new requests, drive out of there. Maybe that's a perfect time to go stop for a bathroom break, go grab a drink, something. It could be a perfect time for that. Just get out, stretch, obviously in a safe area. But then once you're in that safe area, pull over, wait a little bit for the next ride, and obviously turn the app on too. Okay, up to 1 ounce of weed. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I've been there a few times when it was legal, but yeah, I'm not sure beyond that. So I'm just waiting for New York for it to finally kick in, even though it hasn't. They just decided to decriminalize the whole state, which unfortunately means that I would say a good a good 25% of my rides smell like weed when they get in my car. So, you know, every time afterwards, I just got to roll down the windows for the next people, because I don't want to get that false report of somebody saying, oh, the car smelled like weed. And then you get deactivated for, you know, a few days or whatever it is to fight it and all that crap. So it's just easier to air it out and not have to worry about it. But, you know, these false reports are just a pain in the butt. All right, guys, but yeah, what's up, Renegade Biker? Talked about Uber and Lyft, about driver safety. Yeah, that's true. Now, one of the things that I actually kind of bring up a good point, because I have seen a few emails, you know, from Lyft where they always like to email you stuff. And we'll also talk about that next little Lyft thing, which I forgot about, which doesn't pertain to driver safety, but this first point does. So one of the big things was, if you drive for Lyft, or if you don't know, or if you don't drive for Lyft and you didn't know, or you don't open the emails because you just don't care. One of the things that they emailed out, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, was they had their driver advisory council meeting, like the National Driver Advisory Council meeting. And I guess driver safety was the #1 topic discussed at the council meeting, but the council meeting is with drivers. So if you don't know what the DAC is, or Driver Advisory Council, that's a council of drivers who kind of bring issues up to Lyft and the people at Lyft for, you know, trying to implement certain things within Lyft itself. But yeah, they did a recap of it, and I guess driver safety was one of the things that they were talking about, and the main thing they were talking about at that council meeting. They were talking about a lot of different things, including dash cams. So what that means, I don't know. They haven't put anything else out in Lyft's emails or anything since then, so I just heard it was #1 priority, talked about at the DAC meeting. Again, who knows? I've seen emails from Uber and Lyft talking about safety for a long time now, and nothing's really changed. So until I see something that's actually put in writing or implemented, you know, it's up to you guys. It's up to me. It's up to us as drivers, even passengers out there. Because like I said, that last news story where the guy felt disrespected because he was because the passenger was holding open a door for it and being nice and doing a respectable thing. You know, and crazy stuff like that happens. It's insane. But yeah, that's one of the things that they said they were talking about. But now on to the funny thing that I saw about Lyft in an email today sent to me that I'm sure many people got today. That was that they're revamping and changing their reward system now. So it's probably going to be like Uber Pro, which a lot of markets just got Uber Pro yesterday as well too. So I think it's in almost every market now, because quite a few markets got it yesterday. So anybody who didn't have Uber Pro probably does now at this point. You got a bunch of emails for it. And yeah, Lyft just sent out an email earlier today, a couple hours ago, saying that they're revamping all of their whole rewards programs. So apparently something's happening in the fall. I don't know. It's probably going to be just like Uber Pro, which is going to be a little bit of a joke. But yeah, thanks for that, Renegade Biker. Yeah, thanks, No Boss Lifestyle. Don't ever let a rider borrow your phone. Nope, absolutely not. Yeah, phone, never give anybody your phone for any particular reason whatsoever. If you watched a video I did earlier this week, it was about a girl who tried getting pitching her business, and she's like, "Hey, give me your phone." I'm like, "No, not gonna happen." She's like, "No, don't actually give me your phone, but take the number." And I'm like, "Oh, great, I got to do that." But yeah, all right. But yeah, never give anybody your phone. Absolutely not. And driver safety, car ionizer. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. They got those little plugins that you can do, which is awesome. So that's always a good thing. Getting those little car ionizers, or just rolling down the windows too. All that stuff is going to be really good. Getting out any of that stuff. All right, guys. But I'm going to wrap it up. I got a lot of things going on, and my phone is actually about to die. I forgot to charge it before I hit the go live button, so I don't want it to die while I'm in the middle of talking. So I'm going to end it here, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And again, like I said, if there's anything else that you want to add, you can always comment below. And then also, Rideshare Source Driver, if you're still watching this, please comment the GoFundMe on the video after it's done processing and uploaded. So anybody who watches this can go to that GoFundMe if they want to help donate to the driver who was shot and killed in Phoenix. Family needs it, no life insurance. So yeah, I'll pin that comment, make sure. All right, guys. As always, never drink and drive, always tip your drivers, and we'll see you next time. And one last thing, always be safe out there, always.